My latest completion is the Dome car, City of San Francisco. Union Pacific received car number 9009, a Dome Lounge observation car, from American Car and Foundry in 1955. After a short year in this configuration, the car was rebuilt to a Dome Lounge in 1956 and remained that way until the end of regularly scheduled passenger service on the railroad. The car was sold to Auto Train in 1972 and changed hands with several owners before being purchased by UP in 1993. The railroad has modernized the car over the years, inside and out. The lounge dome configuration is still valid today. 34 guests sit in the finest lounge accommodations, surrounded with a full wood interior and etched glass partitions. The lower section is a full bar, and restrooms are located in the short end of the car. The dome comfortably seats 30 more guests for a total capacity of 64. The City of San Francisco is unique in that it retained the original rear windows and marker lights, so it can serve as the last car in the consist. As with most of the other cars in my fleet, this project began as a Walthers UP City Series observation dome. My modernization began by removing the factory detail parts from the bottom of the car and part of the interior. My first car with sound was the Howard Fog, and it was easy to get the sound out with that large grill on the side of the car. The desire to keep everything you normally see intact and looking like the prototype on this car gave me few options. I settled on cutting a slit opening along the center seal on the long end of the car. I constructed a speaker enclosure out of styrene with the speaker firing down and standoffs so there was a gap between the speaker and the floor of the car. The assembly was glued over the slot previously cut in the center seal. A Soundtrax sound card decoder was mounted to the top of the speaker enclosure and wired to the factory power pickups, speaker, marker lights, and inspection lights. I made brackets to hold T1 LEDs for the inspection lights. I also added a connector so an end of train device could easily be added when the car is placed at the end of a train and removed when mid-train. The remainder of the bottom details followed suit with previous cars. Harbor Mist Gray and gloss lacquer finished the bottom. The Walthers observation domes are molded to show the prototype steel plates that were welded on to cover the rear windows. I carefully cut these areas out as close to the lines as possible with a Dremel, then finished by using a jeweler's files. Several coats of armor yellow were used to cover the exposed plastic. Clear styrene was cut a little larger than the window openings and glued in place. Next was the marker lights. Using prototype pictures, I made the bases for the lights and painted them armor yellow. Holes were then drilled in the rear of the car body and the bases glued into place. As always, thanks for watching my video on the Dome Lounge, City San Francisco.